um, folks that we need here. I see Councilmember Barza, Councilmember Carbasi, Councilmember Capriolo is online. I think Councilwoman Soria is online. Looks like we have a full council. With that, let's begin roll call for the special meeting of December 8th at 4 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Britta Felt,
Here, let me just say, the additional Gary Bradfeld, my error. I sent out the wrong link, so it's my fault, and my apologies to everyone for the mistake.
No worries. We like the original, Gary, so we just want to make sure you're live in person.
Thank you.
he's there. Councilmember Chavez,
Here.
Councilmember Esparza,
Present.
Councilmember Carbasi,
Here.
Councilmember Soria,
Here.
Council Vice President Capriolio,
Here.
President Arias.
Here. With that, council, I'm going to ask for a motion in a second to adopt the additional closed session item labeled as conference with legal counsel regarding public safety, government code 54957, subdivision A. Can I get a motion in a second to approve that additional amendment to the agenda?
I'll make a motion, but I want to table the item for introduction. So I'll make a motion with that.
Second.
There's a motion to add the additional closed session item and a motion to table the open item from discussion today.
Yeah,
Good.
second.
All right,
Gotcha.
let's do roll call, please.
Okay, Councilmember Britta Felt,
A quick question. So by tabling, we're removing it from the public now. We're not going to be discussing it. Is that
Correct.
correct?
Yeah.
Right.
And let me ask a question before we do. The rationales for the public would be what? What's the rationale?
The rationale, Councilor Betterfield, is obviously it needs a lot more time for the council to look at the language in the bill. And so that's the purpose.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
okay.
All right, we have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Britta Felt,
Yes.
Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Councilmember Esparza,
Nay.
Councilmember Carbasi,
Yes.
Councilmember Soria,
Yes.
Council Vice President Capriolio,
Yes.
and President Arias.
Yes. All right, the agenda is set. Council, let me go to the public. Is there anybody in the member of the public wishing to address the two items listed for closed session? They are conference with legal counsel regarding real property negotiations related to Grizzly Stadium. And the second item is conference with legal counsel related to public security. Anybody in the public wishing to address the council on those two items? I see a couple, so I'm going to identify the first one I see is Lisa Flores. City Clerk, I don't think I'm co-host, so I can't. Oh, there we are.
Okay. Yeah,
Lisa?
you are.
Real quick question, before I make my statement. What is the public safety on? What is that regarding? Is that the, police
Cannot
chief?
elaborate.
It's what?
We cannot elaborate on what we'll be discussing in the closed session other than what's in the title.
What's in the title is it's the security issue related to the governor's declaration of a state of emergency.
Okay, I can do this. First off, Grizzlies. Make sure we get our money. That's all on the Grizzlies. Second, if you guys are going to be talking about ordinances and fines, I'm all for them, but I want them to be done with some humanity and not focused on the poor and the homeless. As a person who is a high-risk heart patient, I've taken this COVID situation very, very seriously. I've been home for 9 months, guys. I see a light at the end of the tunnel, but I also feel like we're in a Christmas season where we should be having, you know, candy canes and cheerful things, and we have death looming with zero ICU beds today. I mean, those people that openly said, you know, not to wear a mask and defy science, the blood on the dead are on your hands now. And if that's what it takes to get people to stay at home in low numbers to stop the pandemic spread, then that is what you need to do. And I have your support. And hopefully at some point in the future, we will be talking about the new appointment of the police chief, because I'm not real happy about that. I'm not happy about, you know, the potential of having somebody from a very high death rate community come into ours and make our police force more militaristic. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. The next person is Gina Munoz. Gina, you have the floor.
Yes, hello. I'd like to talk about your emergency amendment, section 2-514. I vote against it. You already took Easter away from us. Nothing happened. Now it's Christmas. You're taking Christmas away from us. You cannot make people be scared. Death happens. We live, we die. How long do people want to live? 104? You want to pay PG&E till you're 104, 105? What kind of life are you living? That's not a life to live. You can't even visit your dying members of your family. They're dying alone in these community hospitals. They're still dying, whether you're with them or not. So I don't see what this amendment, section 2-514, is going to do for any of us. So if I was any of you, I please would vote no on this, because our families are dying whether we are with them or not.
Thank you, Gina. Next person is,
Mr. President, I'm sorry. As a point of order, if that item's not on the agenda, the public comments have to focus on the items we're discussing. If we're not discussing the item, I appreciate the comments. People want to share, but we need to get down to business.
thank you, council member, for your feedback. Next person is Brandy.
You're muted, Brandy.
Thank you. Am I unmuted now?
No, you're fine.
Okay, I'm fine now.
Yes,
Okay, good. I pressed it and then it kept me muted. Thank you.
no
Um,
problem.
I'll be brief. I recognize that regarding the closed session item, if they're discussing those things, I just want to lend my support to council. I know that we need to stay on topic, but if it's regarding this, I recognize that you're in a tough position and been in a tough position all year long. And a lot of it has been because of community response and other leaders who have not been supporting safety regulations. Growing up, we're supposed to be learning that there's consequences to our actions. And if we do something unsafe or wrong, there are consequences. And sometimes innocent people suffer. And people minimizing this pandemic that I've seen around me and refusing to wear a mask because of, quote unquote freedom and not doing what we need to do is where we're at now. So I want to recognize that you guys are dealing with a lot of difficult things and that there have been federal leaders who haven't been doing what they can to support your work by supporting the local businesses and protecting workers. And I'm sorry that the leadership has been blamed for trying to do what you can to keep the community safe. I've been hearing from so many people who have loved ones that are in a hospital, who have COVID, who have died, who have had other health issues that have been affected because of the hospital being full. And I know that they're over capacity now in some places. And ask that the community members who have been doing what we can to protect ourselves in our community appreciate that you aren't just dismissing the regulations by the state intended to support our healthcare workers and protect our community. I do join in agreement with Lisa that my only request is considering making sure that those who are in poverty aren't disproportionately affected or targeted by any things that are being done. As those who are more wealthy might be more able to hide not following regulations.
Randy.
But to think about that. But thank you for what you're doing and for standing for the protection of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person, Shayna.
Hi, thank you for taking my comments today. I'd like to comment on section 2-514. I personally feel like this is trampling all over our rights, our privacy. We've already had a lot of privacy issues this year, just alone by having all these cameras in our house for Zoom meetings. I personally do not plan on gathering with anyone for the holidays, and I haven't. However, even though I follow all your rules, my businesses continue for a third time now to be shut down. And it's very disappointing to hear Carbassi on here, who was always claiming to be a small business owner, showing very little sympathy to people who have families dying in the hospital. Yet, they're just trying to open you guys up and make you feel a little bit more humane on what we're going through. I've talked to you guys several times before. You know, I'm a mother of four just trying to provide. And what everyone keeps forgetting is it is Christmas. We now have lost thousands all year long and now have no opportunity to make up at our busiest time of the year. I am a salon owner. I am a licensed esthetician, and I went to school for several hours to learn how to properly disinfect and keep people safe. So I wish that my city council would stand up for me and my small business and all these other small businesses that are drowning and are going to have to permanently close behind
Thank you,
us.
Shane.
So thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna have two more people and then we're gonna move on to closed session. They're both labeled Gary Bredefeld, so please identify yourself for the record.
Hi, my name is Mandy Lorenzi.
Proceed, please.
Hi. I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time to be speaking about the proposed ordinance on a mask fine, but basically I want to share my opposition to that, mainly because I think that it will disproportionately affect poor people, and rich people will be able to continue to do whatever they want. Personally, I'm not trying to have large home gatherings, and I think most of us are not, but there will always be some reasons where it may be necessary, and a fine like this is intended to punish people rather than protect, and it will hurt poor people, especially people who have multi-generational families who are caring for aging parents and children, for people who are going to work. Often this is done among many generations and between many families, and so that's one reason that I'm opposed. And then also because it's just an overreach, and there's a lot of other places where we can be better directing our focus rather than individual households. If people are joking about going and having Christmas at Walmart. So you know what I mean? Like if that's a loophole, then that's kind of silly, where households can be fine, but Walmart can keep going on as normal, and people can go and say hi in the aisles. Like that's just silliness. And, it's a violation of our rights.
Thank you, Mandy. All right, well, the last speaker will be the next person labeled Gary Bredefeld. Please identify yourself for the record. Hello, you're unmuted. Going once, going twice. We hear some background, but no audio. All right, we'll move on. City Clerk, this concludes our public comment for today on the closed session agenda items. Council, we will now proceed to closed session. You should have a link in your calendar for the closed session Zoom meeting. Thank you all.
Council
Yes.
President, again, I want to apologize to all the people. I got requested a link for the public. I thought I was sending out a public. They've shared it. It's my fault. I apologize to everyone for the miscommunication.
The record is clear. Well, it's all your fault today.
It is all my fault today.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Only today.
Does that include the picture trying to be disrespectful of Council President?
That
No.
does not include that from me, no.
Thank you. Bye.